Business ethics. The term ethics was derived from Greek word ethikos, which means character. Ethics is a branch of philosophy and is considered as normative science because it is concerned with the norms of human contact. Business ethics or corporate ethics or applied ethics is the art and discipline of applying ethical principles to examine and solve ethical dilemmas. Definition for ethics. Ethics is a discipline dealing with what is good and bad and with moral duty and obligations, which is given by Webster. For business ethics is the study of business situations, activities, and decisions where issues of right and wrong are addressed. This definition was given by Andrew Crane. The ethics of business and is the ethics of responsibility. The businessman must promise that he will not harm knowingly. This definition was given by Raymond Beaumont. The next topic for today's discussion is importance of business ethics. Ethics in business and business activities have major importance, which we are going to discuss as number one, attracting customers. Customer is a person who buys goods and services from business or shops. By adopting ethical practices in organization, individuals will able to make a right decision in ethical way. With these, customers get attracted to firms prudently. The next importance is protection of customers' right. Consumer rights are the rights of the consumer who use the firm's product against false and misleading claims of business. See, for example, business give wrong advertisements. By believing the advertisements, consumer buy which may not be right or which may lead to unethical practices. The products produced by companies should be safe and then only consumer rights get protected. The next importance is reduced labor turnover. See, in organizations, labor turnover means leaving of employees from the organization. By adopting ethical organization, there will be no discrimination in organization. With this, labor turnover get reduced. The next importance of business ethics is social responsibility. Today, in normal situation, we give top priority and we are socially responsible. Social responsibility is the responsibility of not only the company, it is responsibility of every individual or every individual of the society, where companies regarding welfare of this society. This is done by producing safe products, protection of environment by pollution free activities, doing development activities for the society. The next importance for today's discussion is reduced takeover. Takeover means the act of buying of one company by other company. By following ethical activities in business, investors get attracted and companies' share price will be high, thereby business gets protected from takeover. The last importance for today's discussion is promoters socialism. Socialism means interacting among individuals with ethics. Discriminating among individuals get reduced by treating everyone equally. Long-run survival and sustainability of business ethics. Survival and sustainability mean the ability to be maintained at a certain rate of level. Unethical practice may give short-term benefit, but in long run it will not lead to survival. So to have long-run survival, ethics should be adopted in every business organizations. The organization should have a good relation with the society. How they can have good relation with the society? By maintaining the ethical values which should be followed by the business, doing welfare and betterment activities to the society, and by reducing the fraud. That is, we have to check or we have to control the fraudulent activities of the business. Fraud means wrongful deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. Ethics in business will control fraudulent activities like corruption, harmful products and improper services. So these are the importance of business ethics that we should have or we should focus in giving priority. Next topic that for today's discussion is functions of business ethics. The functions of business ethics are: businesses should be socially responsible, the businesses should take care the stakeholders, the businesses should have demonstrate behaviors of the society, they should have good policies and procedures, and they should have good communication among the organization. So how they are socially responsible? Ethical guidelines also helps business to demonstrate social responsibility to the consumers. Then as a provider of a product or a service by the business or by the company, they should choose voluntary action to be known for the social responsibility. The next function is take care of the stakeholder. It is responsibility of the every business organization to take or to direct or directly or indirectly they should give priority for their stakeholders or whoever who is related with the organization. They should make a right decision or ethical decision so that they will not mislead the stakeholders. A company should take care of all its stakeholders and they have to maintain honesty. How it is possible for every organization to maintain honesty? They should be transparent. Any decision or any function or any aspect or activity which is happening or which is done in the organization should be transparent. It should be revealed to every stakeholder. Then they have to demonstrate the behaviors. Another vital function of the organization is organization or business ethics is to demonstrate behavior to the current norms. Their action that are acceptable in past years can because inappropriate in later years. They should have good politics and policies and procedures. Business ethical also perform functions of reviewing policies and procedures to know whether they are ethical or not, and accordingly changes will be made if there are unlawful policies and procedures. And they should have good communication. How an organization have good communication to maintain the business ethical standards? Employee use formal and informal channels of communication to explain each other the acceptable norms and behavior of the organization. In ethical organization, all employees will be known how to act in a business. And the next and the last function is ensure good effect of power. As a business expands, opportunities for corruption also grow. In some case, this expansion can destroy valuable elements in the community. With a good code of conduct or power of the company can work to repair possible damage caused. The next topic of today's discussion is unethical practices and ethical dilemma. Unethical practice. Today, it is commonly observed that there are unethical practices not only among the individuals, even among the corporate levels. So, businesses should avoid unethical practice. So, unethical practice or a behavior in a business refers to action that fails to rise in acceptable standards of business practice. Consumers would be every wise or these unethical practices to protect themselves their families and their wallets. Unethical practices are as follows: dumping pollutants into the water, which leads to water pollution with a lot of toxins like chemicals, oil, sewage, and by this plants and animals get affected. Not only the plants and animals, even the social man, the human being, or get affected because of dumping pollutants, that is pollutants in the water. Then releasing toxins into the air. Generally a limit is permitted by environmental board, that to that extent we can release, or that we can give the toxins. But today beyond that, you can take Delhi. It is highly polluted. Air pollution you can see. Not only Delhi, all over India is fully polluted. Generally we can see that release of toxins into air. If toxins released above permitted level, it leads to air pollution. Then coercion, that is compulsion. We should not compel, we should not force anyone. It is unethical to coerce or force an injured worker not to report or complain to the government by threatening him with the loss of job. See, normally that you can see, that you can face in the organization. There will be plenty of threatening, job threatening. That is because we are under private sector, our jobs are not secured. So we should be very careful that we should reveal, but the companies are not permitting, but it is not ethical. Companies should permit to raise their rights. Then refusal for paycheck, refusing to give an employee a final paycheck after the employee leaves the company. It is also unethical. Delay in payment of salaries in time. See, normally today you can see many companies, only government employees, they are getting promptly. Apart from government employees, their salaries, maximum corporates, they are not paying on time. It is also unethical. Then discrimination, you can see plenty of disparities by race, gender, color. These are the disparities which leads to unethical practices in business. Then theft or fraud, personal use of company, that is property or expenses about misrepresentation, are unethical. Then termination, that is putting an end to the job of an employee. Then fake advertisement, it is a very major unethical practice that we observe while buying a product or a services. Then refusal for warranty services. At the time of selling company's product, they offer warranty services on the product, but when a need arises, they refuse to provide those services to the customers. Then defective production, it means producing defective products which are not safe and which are harmful to the consumers. They are also unethical in nature. So there are plenty of unethical practices that we can identify or we can observe in India. I would like to highlight, I would like to express few unethical practices in my observation. That is lack of proper education. See, consumers were not given proper education. Not only consumers, even that is customers, both internal and external customers were not given proper education about the product or service or about the organization. Then raising inefficiency. See, inefficiency that you can see only for that particular the purpose meant they will be used. Apart from that, they will not be educated or they will not be given information. That is lack of communication can be observed or it is noticed. Then inefficiency laws were not protecting the employees. Though it is protecting, people were not given free hand, people were not given freedom to expose or to express. Then consumer exploitation, that is producers for their own benefits induce impact on illiterate consumers. Then the next topic of today's discussion is ethical dilemma. An ethical dilemma also refers as moral dilemma or ethical paradox. It is a situation in which choice has to be made between two equally undesirable alternatives. Dilemma may arise out of various sources like Dilemma, like a conflict between the choices. Usually one action, though morally right, violates the another ethical standard. Failure, personal character, conflict of personal values and organizational goals. For example, stealing to feed a family. This is a big ethical dilemma that we can see in today's business. Then sources of ethical problems. There are plenty of sources that we can see, that we can identify in the society. That is, we can see a production and sale of hazardous but popular one. See, for example, take vanaspati, take dalda. It is a hazardous, it is not good for human health, but people want to prefer, people want to buy for taste, for good presentation of food. Then failure of personal character. This is very, very important. See, we can see online rummy. It is very, very popular now. People are getting affected. People were unhappy and they get or they commit suicide because of loss of money. But you can see the ambassadors, top cine actors or top players who are promoting online games or online sports or online rummy. So these has to be protected. See here, the personal character doesn't, see, by believing their words we are getting into that, but it is totally unethical, or it is not good for the society. Then conflict of personal values. See, that today we can see, we can observe in everyone's life. See, personal values were not maintained, personal values were not seen, not only in individual, even among organization. Then personal belief versus organizational practices. See, customs, every individual will have their own tradition, will have their own customs, but it will not be practiced, or sometimes organization may not allow, organization may not permit to adopt the personal beliefs. So we have to compensate, we have to balance the personal aspects with the corporate aspects. Then organizational goals. See, we are responsible to work with the power of organizational goals. We have to see, we have agreed how we are going to meet, how we are going to capture, how we are going to accomplish the organizational goals. So we have to work towards accomplishing or achieving the organizational goals. And other aspects like price fixing due to monopoly, wage discrimination is observed today in every life, every walk of life, because we can see, we can observe that people are of different nature. People work smartly, people work hardly. There is a difference between smart work and hard work that shows how we have to be smart, how we can accomplish and how we can achieve. Then the next aspect of today's discussion is resolving ethical dilemmas in business. It is very important that we have to resolve the ethical dilemmas in business. That is establishing corporate code of conduct for employees. See, common rules to be laid down so that there will not be any discrimination, there will not be any change, or there will not be any imbalance among the employees of the organization. Employ high skilled people in the top level of the corporation who have standard ethical behavior. So the employees of top management should have ethical aspect or ethical behavior. And rewarding employee who have good ethical contact. Follow personal code of conduct for employees. Effective and open communication with every employee. Avoid conflict creating situations. Create an ethical working environment. A manager must judge his action by characters like honest, transparency, impartiality, fairness and equality. The last part of today's discussion is ethical theories or ethical approaches that we are adopting in business. The first theory is ethical theory. Ethical theory provides a reason or norms for judging acts to be right or wrong. It provides ethical principles or guidelines that embody certain values. This can be used to decide in particular case what action should be chosen and carried out. So ethical theory is based upon ethical principle, and we have to take the proper judgment so that the ethical theory will give the good start by clarifying ourselves what we think, then moving for principles generating from theory, and the next to conclude about the moral values. It is like ladder that we adopt in following the ethical values in the organization. So there are different types of theories which are adopted in business, that is theological theory and deontological theory. Theological theory, that is theo means the goal, which means the end. The goal is an end, how we accomplish, how we achieve. And deontology is nothing but the duty, that is the responsibility of the organization. So these are the normative theories of business ethics. The first theory we are going to discuss is the egoism theory and utilitarianism theory. Egoism theory. Ego means self. We feel that I myself, what I say is right, what I feel is right. So egoism theory contends that an act is morally right if and only if it promotes the agents, persons, groups or organization in long-term interest. The criticism of egoism theory is not really a moral theory, because individuals never try to be objective. This theory ignores wrongdoings. The next theory is utilitarianism theory, which means the ethics for welfare. There are two names associated for utilitarian philosophy. They are the big Jains or big theologies, namely Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill. According to them, the principle is a decision is ethical if it provides a greater net utility than any other alternative decision. An action is right from ethical point of view if and only if the sum total of utilities produced by that act is greater than sum of utilities produced by any other cost or any other act. The criticism of this theory is lack of predictability about benefits and cost. Measurement of utility becomes difficult as it changes from time to time and place to place. The second consequentialistic theory are ethics of duty, and there are two formulations of Kant that is focused on Kantism theory is to act only ways that one should wish others to act, and always to treat other people with dignity and respect. Other important theories of business ethics are stakeholder theory, stakeholder theory, and social contract theory and right theory. These are the very important theories that we are going to discuss in next session. Thank you very much.